You're right everyone, Shock16 here. So I've just been watching a video by Adam, Interghost, and it's his community question video. And this week his community question was, what arcade games did you play as a kid and where did you play them? And I thought that was a really good question and it got me thinking, so I've just made a little list of some of the arcade games and where I used to play them. And yes, this clipboard has been seen in a previous video. Oh yes, getting some use out of it and I've fucking paid for it. So yeah, anyway, I made a little list and I thought I'd go through some of the arcade cabs that I used to play as a kid and where I used to play them. So yeah, if you live in or around Nottinghamshire, might be a little bit of a nostalgia trip for you as I reel off some of the names of the places where I used to go. If you didn't live in Nottingham, then they'll mean bugger all to you. But yeah, let's crack on and I'll list them off. Firstly, I just want to mention 3 arcade cabs, and they are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade machine, the Simpsons arcade machine, and the first Double Dragon arcade machine. Now these are my 3 favourite arcade cabs of all time, and they are the arcade cabs that I used to play the most as a kid. But the reason why I'm not going to list them on this video is because I never really used to play them at one particular place. Basically, these arcade machines were so popular at the time of their release that any good arcade used to have them. So yeah, at least one of these cabs in their arcade, so you could basically play them anywhere. So even though they are the games that I used to play the most in the arcades, I never really used to have one particular place where I used to play them the most. I just used to play them all over the gaff. So yeah, but they are good machines, but I'm not going to mention them apart from there because I just did mention them. So yeah, I'm talking shit already. So yeah, let's kick off with Mortal Kombat. The first Mortal Kombat, I used to play this in a leisure centre called Aspley Centre, and yeah, it was just like a youth centre kind of thing. We used to go there with school because it was part of Melbourne Park where we used to play football now and again and do PE and stuff like that. If we had indoor five-a-side football or basketball or something like that, we used to do it inside Aspley Centre, and they had a lonely little Mortal Kombat machine in there. So, and that was the first place I ever played Mortal Kombat, I think, the arcade cab anyway. And yeah, great memories. So yeah, Aspley Boys Centre, Mortal Kombat. Now Mortal Kombat 2, we used to play this at a place called Quasar. If you don't know what Quasar is, then basically it's just Laser Quest, but a better version. In my opinion, it was better anyway. I think a lot more people enjoyed Quasar than they did Laser Quest. Sure they did. But yeah, Quasar, it used to be a big like arcade, and then at the back, Quasar was at the back of it, like thing. So it was good. You had some really good arcade cabs in, as you'll find out, because there's quite a few of them on this list that I used to play in there. So Mortal Kombat 2 was Quasar. That was good, obviously, and I think that was the first time I ever seen that game completed was in Quasar as well. Used to have many coins put into that machine and I used to get nowhere, and then I think we was watching this one lad once and he flawless victoried every round and completed it with katana or something like that. He was a really good player on that. He stunned me. It was great. I think it's the first time that I've ever been like jaw dropped at a machine, like, because I can't believe how good someone's been on it. Mortal Kombat 2. What else did we used to play in Quasar? We used to play Killer Instinct. Awesome. In fact, I can remember when Killer Instinct arcade cab came out, we looked everywhere for it, and Quasar was the only place that actually had the arcade machine, and we used to play on it endlessly trying to learn the ultra combos, you know, like the 40-50 hit combos and stuff like that, because we could do them on the SNES version, but in the arcade it was a different story. But a mate of mine, he was really good at it and he used to get quite far, and he used to play as Bee Orchid or Orchid or whatever her name is. She's probably one of the best characters on the game. And yeah, you could always pull out a ultra combo with her, so he used to get quite a few people looking at him, and you know, it was good. It was a good feeling when people used to crowd around the machines and watch you. But even though they weren't watching me, they were watching him pulling off this ultra combo. So yeah, still in my limelight and shit. Do you know what I mean? What else did we used to play in there? Daytona, of course. How could you forget Daytona? And in Quasar as well, I don't know if they did this everywhere, but in Quasar they used to have like the full sitting machine. It was like a full-size Daytona car that you used to sit in, and it used to have like a rear projection, like big screen, so you was like actually sitting in the Daytona car. That was mad. And it used to be, I can remember it used to be like chained off with the thinnest little red chain around it, so people couldn't stand like next to the arcade, like the Daytona car when somebody was in it. And I can remember it being expensive as well, because we didn't used to have many goes on it, and I used to think it was quite hard as well. The arcade game anyway. But yeah, that was brilliant, that was. And then Sega Rally, awesome, absolutely awesome game. One of my favourite games on the Sega Saturn, and that is because of this reason. They used to have the arcade sit down. It wasn't full size, it was just like the 2-player cab, you know, with the racing seat and the steering wheel. But excellent again. Actually completed Sega Rally in the arcades back in the day. Now as time went on and over the years, Quasar kind of faded out and it turned into a Namco arcade, Quasar did. So down at Namco, they used to have, again of course, used to be filled with awesome games, Time Crisis and stuff like that. But one that I can remember playing on the most in Namco was Street Fighter Alpha 2. So yeah, that was really, really good. I quite like the Street Fighter Alpha series, but there's shitloads of Street Fighters, isn't there? I mean, of course I used to play the original Street Fighter 2 as well, but again, that was one of those cabs where it used to be everywhere, didn't it? So there was no like particular place where you used to play it. You used to play Street Fighter 2 everywhere, because it used to be everywhere. But Street Fighter Alpha 2, yeah, Namco was the place to go for that, which was originally Quasar, but Namco, Namco. I don't think I've said it enough, so I'm just going to say it one more time, Namco. Right, next is Revolution X, which is a really shit game. It's a shitty game. On the consoles, it's a really shitty game. But in the arcade cab, it's a shooting game, first-person shooting game, and in the arcade you actually get the guns and stuff like that, so it's a bit better. We used to think it was good on the arcade cab. If you've got it on a console, then you're going to be very disappointed, because it is very, very shit. And it's not really the best arcade game either, but it used to be fun because you used to have the guns, and that used to be at the old Nottingham Ice Stadium. And yes, I did say old there because I'm not on about the new Nottingham Ice Stadium where they have all the fucking like music concerts and shit nowadays in Nottingham. Nah, I'm talking about the old Ice Stadium, the one where you used to, you know, the old Nottingham Panthers Ice Stadium. Yeah, that was great back in the 90s, that was. In fact, I have never stepped foot inside the new Ice Stadium, so yeah. Is it even on the same grounds? Is it even in the same place? I'm not sure. Maybe anybody from Nottinghamshire can tell me. Is the new Ice Stadium where the old Ice Stadium used to be? Because I've never actually been since they changed it. So, and it's been there a few years now, hasn't it? The new one. So yeah. Anyway, off on a tangent there. Now the next one is Tekken, the first ever Tekken, and we used to play this in Inglemells, which is like part of Skegness, Inglemells, when we were on holiday. And me and my cousin used to pick out this one arcade in particular, and it was, if you've ever been to Inglemells, there's a place called Fantasy Island, and it's got like it's like a pyramid, and it's got like a market on the inside and outside. It's got bars on the inside and outside. On the side it's got some arcades attached to it and a McDonald's, and then it's got like a theme park, like roller coasters and stuff outside, like fair rides and stuff outside. But yeah, when that was first built in the early 90s, it used to have a really good arcade attached to the side of it, and in there they used to have a Tekken cab, and me and my cousin went in there and we actually completed Tekken, taking it in turns round by round. We played as, wait a minute, I've listed it somewhere. We played with King, and we completed it. Like I say, doing a round each, and I've also made a little note here, and it says also completed Tekken 3 in Magaluf, 1999. So yeah, I've completed 2 Tekkens, one on my own in Magaluf, and one with my cousin. So yeah, great times. Now with the same cousin, I also completed this arcade machine, and it was Asterix. Can anybody remember Asterix? He was like the little Viking dude, and he used to have, like, his best mate was a big fat Viking. And in Nottinghamshire there's a place called Beechdale, and the local pub there, believe it or not, is called The Beechdale. And back in the 90s it was a shithole. It was a total fucking dive. I've been in there last year actually, and it's looking a lot nicer now. They've done it up since then, but back in the 90s it was a fucking dive, mate. And in the back they used to have like a little shitty kids room, and in the kids room they used to have an Asterix machine. It was a side-scrolling beat-em-up machine, 2-player. One played as Asterix, one played as Obelix. And yeah, me and my cousin who I completed the Tekken cab with, we also completed that. Good times. Because in the beach there, that was probably the only thing good to do at that pub. The pub was shit. So, and the kids room used to be tribe. So yeah, but there was that one little gem of a machine in there. So of course, that's what we used to spend our time on, and we completed it. So now we're going back to Skegness. And as a kid, there always used to be one caravan park you always used to stay on, and it was called Coral Beach caravan site. Focus. Bloody autofocus. Ugh. Damn you. So yeah, there used to be this caravan park called Coral Beach. It's in Skegness. Some of you may have been to it. And in the Coral Beach Club, tucked away in the corner of their arcade, used to be a splatter-ass arcade cab. But back as a kid, I used to think it was a Friday the 13th game. Because come on, you basically play as Jason Voorhees. I don't give a shit. You play as Jason Voorhees. That game was based on Friday the 13th. I don't care how much they tried to change it to skip copyright infringement and shit. Splatterhouse is basically Friday the 13th, the game. So yeah, and we went back to Coral Beach last year. We took the family, like the kids and stuff like that, nephews and nieces and stuff. And we took them back to Coral Beach because we used to go there as kids and we used to love it, so we took them back. And yeah, the place has completely changed now, as it would. I mean, it's been about like 10, no, of course longer than 10. We're talking about like 15, almost 20 years ago now when we used to go, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so it has changed over the years. And the first thing I did when we went to the Coral Beach Club was went into the arcade, straight to the corner where that Splatterhouse machine used to be. And do you know what it's been replaced by? A coin pusher. Would you fucking believe it? Coin pushers. I don't get the fascination with coin pushers. Didn't like them back in the day. They've always been shit. You put 2p in a machine and you get if you're lucky, you get an handful of 2p's back. You never win anything. So what's the point in them? Coin pushers. Get rid of the fucking things and start putting arcade machines back in your arcades again. Because that's all it is. You go into an arcade now and you get coin pushers, fruity machines, and you might get an odd light gun game if you're lucky. Shit, coin pushers are wank. They just take up space where a good arcade cab could be, in my opinion. So yeah, I was very disappointed that the Splatterhouse machine wasn't there anymore. So yeah, Skegness again. Point Blank. Sure you've all played Point Blank, light gun game. Absolutely amazing game in the arcades. We used to play that on Skegness Pier. Again, last year when we went back to the Coral Beach Club, we went to the Skegness Pier, and I don't think it was there. Can't remember seeing it because I didn't play it. So it couldn't have been there, because if it was there, I would have played it. So yeah, Point Blank, awesome game in the arcades. And then the last game is a game I used to play at a place called Smiling Sam's, and it was an arcade. again, if anybody lives in Nottingham, you'll probably know where Smiling Sam's used to be. You've got like the Showcase Cinema, then you've got Bowling Alley. Is the bowling still there? I'm not sure if it's still there, to be honest with you. But it used to be GX Super Bowl. I think it changed to Mega Bowl and then something else. It's always been a bowling alley, but I'm not actually sure if it's there anymore. Then across the way you used to have ISIS nightclub, which is no longer there as well. And then you used to have Smiling Sam's arcade, which is no longer there now. I think Smiling Sam's is a Frankie and Benny's or some shit now. But yeah, Smiling Sam's, it was a arcade and you had to be 18 plus to get in. But I was only about 15 or 16 at the time, but my friends used to know a bouncer on the Smiling Sam's arcade, so we used to go in when we was younger, underage, in the arcade. And there used to be a punching machine. It was like a boxing machine. Now, I don't know the name of this game. I've been on Google and I've tried to find it, but to no success. I found machines that look like it, but I don't know. I'm going to describe it to you and you might know the name of the game. So if you do leave a comment below and then I can Google it and I can confirm if it is the actual one I used to play on. But yeah, it was like a punching machine. You used to get a boxing glove on the side so that you could smack like the pad in the middle. And it used to have a camera up top, and you could take a either a photo of your own face or your mate's face. And of course, when you used to punch the pad, it used to like deform the face. But if you didn't used to use the camera mode, and you used to play the first, like just the story mode, you played the part of a superhero. And in the first round, you had to like knock some thug out, and then on the second round, it was like a harder thug. But like the last level on it was a meteorite coming to Earth, and you had to stop the meteorite. And nobody ever in the history of gaming has ever completed that game without some kind of cheat or something like that. I don't give a shit. There's nobody in the world who can punch that hard. In fact, I can remember this game, it was on an episode of Games Master, and they got in, it was a Games Master challenge, and they got in some professional boxers to have a go. I can't remember who was like a famous professional boxer around the time when Games Master used to be on TV. I'm sure you could probably find it actually on YouTube or something like that. So yeah, and one of the challenges was they got these pro boxers to have a go on this thing, and they had to smash the meteorite, and even they couldn't do it. And you know how hard a punch is from a professional boxer, a heavyweight boxer. Fucking hell! And if they can't do it, you can't do it. I mean, we used to like run down the other side of the arcade and have a run up and then like jump and run at it. We could not smash that. It was just solid. That last level, you could always get to that last level, but you could never get past that meteorite. So yeah, if you do know the name of that game, please let me know. Yeah, and that's it. So, what games did you used to play? What arcade games did you used to play as a kid, and where did you used to play them? Do a response to this video, or do it to Interghost's original video, which I'll leave a link to down in the description below. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I've been Shock16. You've been great. Until next time, bye bye for now.